Well folks, you know what we are here for. It's time to review the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. It's the same phone as the Galaxy Z Flip 5 except there are colors around the cameras and it's more expensive. I jest, but that's not a totally inaccurate description of the Z Flip 6. This year's Flip is a very solid phone that's objectively good at everything it does, but it's also an incredibly lazy one that I struggle to wholeheartedly recommend. Confused by that juxtaposition? Let me explain. On a better note, the Galaxy Z Flip 6's camera are good, they aren't amazing, but the two main sensors are capable and reliable. If you want a phone that can consistently capture great images, you will be happy here. The star of the show is a 50MP primary camera, the same one you get on the Galaxy S24 and S24 Plus. It's joined by a 12MP ultra-wide camera with a 123-degree field of view plus a 10MP selfie camera at the top of the inner display. Overall, photos captured by Z Flip 6 look nice, images are sharp and detailed and often return bright, pleasing colors. The jump to a 50MP primary camera over the 12MP camera on the Z Flip 5 is particularly handy. Not only do a standard 1x photos look sharper, but digital zoom on the Flip 6 is also very usable. Samsung says 2x photos are optical quality zoom and I tend to agree. Even jumping to 4x and 10x, I don't hate the results. It certainly doesn't make up for the lack of a dedicated telephoto camera, but it makes the camera system more versatile than last year. The 12MP ultra-wide camera is good too. There is some slight distortion at the edges, but the 123-degree field of view allows you to capture a lot more in the frame. Photos also have a decent amount of detail despite the lower 12MP resolution, and colors are very similar to photos taken with the main camera. Like previous Samsung phones, the Z Flip 6 still struggles a bit with moving subjects. It can also be a little much more with vibrant colors at times, particularly with bright blue skies. Similar to the Flip 5, the Flip 6 has a good camera system, if not a spectacular one. Here are some camera samples of the Galaxy Z Flip 6. Take a look inside the Galaxy Z Flip 6 and you will find a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, the exact same one you get on the Galaxy S24 and S24 Ultra. It also comes equipped with 12GB of RAM and 256GB or 512GB of storage, a welcome increase from the 8GB of RAM on the Flip 5. As expected, the Galaxy Z Flip 6 performs exceptionally. It is worth mentioning that the Z Flip 6 is the first Z Flip smartphone with a vapor chamber, specifically one that's 50% larger than the vapor chamber used in the Galaxy S23 Ultra. This is supposed to keep the Z Flip 6 much cooler when under pressure compared to past models, and it seems to work well. I have noticed the top part of the phone warm up once, and that was only after almost an hour of streaming a 4K YouTube video while also running other apps on the phone. Throughout normal use, the Flip 6 stays as cool as a cucumber. What about battery life? The 4000 mAh battery inside the Flip 6 is the largest one Samsung has ever put in a Z Flip, and while it is still a one-day smartphone like its predecessor, it's a more comfortable one-day phone with over 3.5 hours of screen time. I can easily start a day at 6 or 7 am and get to well past 11 pm. With 25% battery remaining. Samsung certainly still has room to improve, but this is a step up compared to the Z Flip 5. Unfortunately, charging speeds haven't improved at all. Once again, you are stuck with a 25-watt wire charging, 15-watt wireless charging, and 4.5-watt reverse wireless charging. For a phone in 2024, let alone one that costs $1100 US, Samsung should have done much better here. The Galaxy Z Flip 6 comes with Android 14 and it's paired with Samsung's One UI 6.1.1 interface. If you have used a Samsung phone in the last couple of years, you will be right at home. While Samsung's take on Android isn't my preferred interface, this latest version of One UI is incredibly smooth, polished and feature-packed. While I don't like the cover screen's hardware, I do appreciate some of the updated software for it in this year. In addition to customizing the cover screen with full-size widgets for things like the weather, your calendar, and more, you can now have pages with multiple smaller widgets. For example, I have one page with 3 different Samsung Health widgets, and tapping each one shows more information about it. It's a small change, but I really like it. Speaking of AI, all of the Galaxy AI features introduced with the Galaxy S24 series are on the Galaxy Z Flip 6. This includes Circle to Search, the Interpreter app, Chat Assist, etc. These features all work on the Z Flip 6 just like they do on every other Samsung phone with Galaxy AI, though the Flip has a couple of exclusive editions. For one, interpreter mode can be used with the cover screen, showing your language on the main screen and the other person's language on the cover screen. If you are traveling in another country and trying to converse with someone in a different language, it's a bit easier than both of you huddling around one display. Further, if you are looking at a message on the cover screen, Chat Assist can analyze your conversation and offer suggested replies based on the context of messages. There is also a new sketch to image feature. As the name implies, you can sketch or draw on top of a photo you have taken, and Galaxy AI will turn it into something much more impressive. It's fine and technically works, but I can't personally see myself ever using it after this review. You can see a couple of examples above. I don't think Galaxy AI is the reason to buy a Samsung phone over a competitor, but it is nice to see Samsung finding more use cases for its AI tech, even if ones like sketch to images are downright silly. As for updates, the Galaxy Z Flip 6 is promised 7 years of software updates, including major Android OS upgrades and security patches. This is the same level of support you get on the Galaxy S24 series, and it's great that Samsung has extended it to the Z Flip 6. Well done, Sammy. This all puts the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 in an awkward position. If you have a much older Z Flip and you are dead set on getting the newest model, you won't have a bad time with the Flip 6 at all. Hell, I've had a great time using it, but I also don't think it should be at the top of your shopping list. If you want a good Samsung Foldable, you can save yourself hundreds of dollars and buying a Galaxy Z Flip 5 and really not miss out on much at all. Alternatively, if you can escape Team Samsung, this year's Razr Plus kicks the Flip 6's butt in more ways than one and costs $100 less. It's not that Samsung made a bad phone with the Z Flip 6, it just made a lazy one.